Hi, she's Trixie, and I'm Sarah, and this is Our Yarn World, a place where we come to share the love of yarn crafts and all that it gives us and what we hope it gives you. We're on episode 92 today, and we don't have the biggest report as to everything that we've gotten done, but we still have things to share, and we'd like to just sit in fellowship and, update you on life and just where we're at and
let you be able to work on your projects while we're doing that.
Yep.
I haven't really gotten as far as I want to, but this is changing colors almost every row, except for the lacy color. You go back and forth on that. But I'm learning the stitches, and I've got quite a bit of the tulip garden done, the tulip stitch, and it's really turning out so nicely, and I really like the colors in it. And so I think this is going to be quite a springtime blanket. And I have to share that I did make one mistake, but I was able to fix it. During the time that I was doing my V-stitch, I forgot one side of the V. So I had to go back afterwards after I put the red into it, because, it's not going to show one side of the leaves if you don't do that. And afterwards I fixed it. And I left the tails in just so I could prove that, yeah, I made that mistake. Hopefully I won't do that again. It's not hard to do the V-stitch, but if you're watching TV, sometimes you miss those things. So that I'm just being totally transparent there. But yeah, it's turning out to be quite a fun project, and something that I'm learning, and something new for this year, and that's the fun of it. And that's pretty much all I've got over here. I might work on it while you're talking, but I don't know if I will, because doing the tulips, you really have to concentrate. So that's where I'm at.
Well, last week when we got together, we discussed the fact that my son, the reason why we had to skip a week was because my son wasn't feeling good, and then over the course of that time, my daughter ended up getting ill. Well, that led into what was last week. And last week, it was like, okay, Olivia's better. Now all of us got what Olivia had all at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
And it just hit, like right after we filmed, it just hit, and it was this awful stomach bug. And everyone in our house, even our guests, were getting it. And It was leaving us so drained that I didn't really get to anything. Has nothing to do with the fact that I don't want to. I am even starting something right now. But here's the thing. My husband asked, have we got those resin 60mm eyes that we special ordered from Etsy yet? And I said no. I've been checking the mail regularly. It's been since we ordered them January 4th.
Isn't that something?
So, James said that he was going to contact the seller and contact Etsy, and we've already gotten our refund going. So they don't know what happened, but this package is coming from the UK. Not to say that that is completely, like a perfect excuse, but in my head, I know what it's like when you send your hard work out and it doesn't end up getting to the person, yeah. And the sacrifice of having to try to scrap around to make time to make these things again.
Right.
To fulfill an order when it's not like you have a stock of it, you have just made it specific to set order. And so it's more or less like a one of a kind in your own reservoir. Mm-hmm. And it's hard because you're stuck with that, and that's your situation, and I feel bad because I sympathize with that situation while recognizing that I'm the one stuck.
Right.
that make sense?
Yeah, you don't have the eyes.
I don't have the eyes, but I don't look at this person as the bad guy.
Right.
I recognize how the Postal Service can run, and it was also right at the dead end of a very huge holiday season, so it could have just got lost. Who knows, they might still end up in the mail, but at this time, it has passed its estimated date of arrival by almost going on a month, and we can't wait any longer. So James was looking at other possibilities for us to purchase eyes. At this point, my mom, like I said last week, had offered me some, I had asked her if she had the colors for the eyes, and I might just make them. Yeah. I want them to have the specific look of the resin so that they look lifelike, but at the same time, this project needs to get done. It needs to be out of my,
off the hook.
Yeah, it has to be off the hook, and I need to get it done because I have other things I need to get done. I need to get Arlene's blanket done. I need to get, there's things that are pending.
Yeah.
Right there that need to be done if I could just finish this.
Yeah, finish your project.
So I've had reasonable amount of grace for this project, but now it's just time to let it go. So I think I'm going to start the head. And once I get to the eye portion, whether it means my husband has found replacements, the ones that were shipped to us actually get to us, or if I have to make the eyes, we're going to make that decision there.
Yeah. Once you get to that point.
And we're just going to do it.
Yeah.
As of right now, I did start something while I was sitting here. My mom making this tulip blanket kind of, last time we did something that felt like this, where it was very springy.
Yeah.
I ended up making a flower pillow.
Yes.
To match it, because there's just some blankets that she makes where I'm just like, I need to make a pillow to match that.
She makes the 3D things, so that's always a good thing.
So I was looking at different things about tulips, and I found the idea of making a tulip bulb
pillow.
Our groovy with a little face. So I'm doing my own spin on it, and I'm going to try to see if I can make it the same colors just because I like the vibrancy of all these colors. And so the bulb will be the nude, and obviously the stalk would be the green, and then the flower would be the red. I might even make little roots coming out of the bulb.
Oh, so
and
cute.
it will have a face on the bulb looking up at you, and its flower will be all in bloom. And I don't know. We're very close to a village that is based on the heritage of Hollanders.
Yeah, the Netherlands.
The Netherlands. And so they actually have like a tulip festival and a tulip field and a windmill that actually works, and an actual windmill that helps produce a consistent water flow and everything. Like if you were to go to the Netherlands and see how they operate their fields and stuff, and they kind of have their own similar version of it, and it's very close by. And so tulips are kind of something that, like my mom said, we are partially Dutch. My grandmother, that this feels very much representing.
Her husband's family came over from the old country. That's what they used to call it, the old country. And
it was funny because my grandma was always insistent that I had to marry a Hollander too. And just all the different things, right? Like, and so tulips were always in her yard. Tulips were always in her space and her, framework. And they were one of her favorite flowers. And so it's just something that when I look at tulips, I think of you, I think of her. And this just felt right, and it just kind of fit the theme of this time of year, and we're getting there. And so I just wanted to make something as well. And
yesterday was so beautiful on Valentine's Day. It was so sunny and nice here, and today it's blustery and so windy, and rainy and just all the things. And so we're getting all the different types of weather all in 24 hours. And that's par for the course of Michigan. But, you know, you're just wishing for the days of spring. And so that's kind of where I'm doing my yarn work is where I'm kind of thinking, you know, even if it's not spring outside, it can be spring in my mind and spring in my work. So that's kind of where I'm at. And I'm almost done with this red. And
what are you gonna do when
I have another one, but it's just like, I hope I can get all the way across the line before it goes to the place where I'd have to tie on. I'd rather just start a whole new row with a new... What? I've already started this row.
Aw.
Yeah.
I'd use it for mine.
Yeah, I know. So yeah, I'm just really hoping that I can get across the line before I have to tie on. Mm-hmm. So, but...
No, I get that. I don't know. It's been a while since I made something to complement one of your blankets, and when I showed you this idea, you were so
I thought it was so cute.
Yeah. You were so insistent. So.
Yeah. Now, our friend Lisa has been commenting and saying all the kind of things that she likes to crochet, and we're just so happy that we're getting comments and that we're able to communicate with you guys. And she likes to do all kinds of things, wearables and all that kind of stuff too. But, you know, she is giving us some ideas on maybe sharing some of you guys' work. And we haven't gotten to that place yet, but if we get more comments and more people wanting to share their work with us, there's a time that we could do show and tell. I think that would be really fun.
Like every quarter or whatever,
Yeah.
kind of just all the inspired photos of just everyone and what they're working on.
Yeah.
Like we always love to share.
Yeah.
Being able to have a day where we get to share some, and if not all of the ideas that were presented to us that we just find inspiring or just beautiful or just...
in our own community of viewers, you know, that would be really fun. Mm-hmm. And so I'm just putting that out there. If you guys want to share with us, we'd be happy to figure out how to do that for you.
Yes.
And that you could see your work on our screen, you know. So it's something that we're thinking about. And thank you for that idea, Lisa. So. Do you have anything else, or should we go talk about the scripture?
I know that I was actually thinking the other day, it was Valentine's Day yesterday. That's what I was thinking about, was that I remember, I think it was Valentine's Day, that I had made my husband a keychain of a Koopa shell. Now, a Koopa shell is a shell of a character from a video game. It has a very significant reference in Mario games. And these creatures kind of look like turtles, but if you jump on them, you can knock their shell off and then kick it, and their shell can spin, and depending on the color of their shell, the more significant or harder the damage or whatever their durability or strength level is. So it's kind of all color coordinated. Well, I made him this little red Koopa shell, and he loved that thing. I remember he used to chuck that at all his friends, being like, haha, knocked you out, and eventually it fell off the keychain. And if I hadn't been so sick, and honestly, once I just start feeling better, because to be honest, out of everyone in my house that got the main symptoms, I got a really weird symptom. I just had a fever for 2 days that left my body so sore. and so in such a constant state of a cramp that I couldn't move without pain.
Yeah.
And I didn't have any other symptoms besides the fever, where my skin was so oversensitive, and I just had like this constant low grade headache. I have my kids that are not able to keep food down no matter what way you're looking at it, or and just fevers, passing out, all the things that they're getting, but they got it in such a concentrated form that it passed through them in a day or so. My fever lasted 2 days. My symptoms haven't fully gone away yet, and everyone's back to their normal selves, and I'm just over here just like, I almost wish I had had the other symptoms, because I was stuck with the cramps causing me to feel like I was going to throw up or going to do more, or just that my body was going to react differently, but it would never let it.
Right.
And never get to that point. So it took so much longer and so much more work to get the bug out of my system, because my body wasn't doing its natural way of actually fighting it off, besides the fevers or the cramps.
Well, in retrospect, yesterday my husband and I were out doing some thrifting, and when we were going from one place to the other, there was a car on the side of the road, and there was a little boy and his mom, and my husband says, "Oh, is he using the bathroom?" And I said, "No, I think he's getting sick."
Yeah.
And because she was bent right over him, and I'm just like, and he was a little kid just like our, Caniel and our Olivia. And I'm thinking, what in the world is going on?
It's been going on everywhere in town.
But and it's just like all the kids are getting this illness that they're getting, vomiting and diarrhea and all the things, and moms have to stop over on the side of the road just to let the kids out to not have it in the car. And I'm just like, what is, you just wonder what the heck is going on.
It went through all the schools, and I'm not trying to be graphic to any viewer that might be sensitive to this. It's one of those things where it's like my kids got all the symptoms, even some of the adults in the household got all the symptoms. But yet, or some level of variation, they had it, and I'm still getting over the sensation of the cramps and the sore muscles that are left by the cramping, or just but like I would feel the cramps try to cause me to feel the need to throw up or something, and just to result in nothing. The result of just nothing being my body could do to relieve this feeling or get anything out, and I'm still being racked by that. So my wish to even just give my husband a small gift of a keychain where I could make him another Koopa shell or something became moot. Like I wasn't able to provide. He was able to thoughtfully, he always gets me like candy heart conversation candies, because I love them so much, and he got me a book, which was very sweet of him. But I got him something. It's not like I didn't get him something, just more of like the gift along with the treat. I wasn't able to provide yet, or I'm not sure if I'm going to, not out of just neglecting him, but just it's taking a lot of effort even right now just to sit down and do this project without just feeling like I can't focus or something. And it's insane how illnesses that are one way with kids respond so much differently with a much more mature immune system, where the normal symptoms are just not there. It's just the bug is not going to get that far. Your body's fighting its need to just get from point A to point B so fast that it's just this fever or the chills or just the ucky feeling.
Right.
It's left me very fatigued, and I'm just startled.
Fevers do that.
I still, like my daughter's Valentine's Day party was yesterday, and trying to stay focused as I did all 5 stations with her was just like I was going into like hot flashes, I couldn't see.
Yeah.
I know I didn't have a fever. I wasn't around all those people with a fever. It was just the effort.
The aftermath.
The effort to try to do a basic thing with my child's class ended up feeling like such a huge amount of effort.
Right.
And yeah, I know I'm going to get over it. I know it's not going to last long. It's just one of those things where it just sucks when it comes to just being able to provide something for the camera. Like, I don't have anything. And
Right.
even like I said, for my day-to-day, how this craft and hobby that I have is represented in such a way of gifts or love language for the people in my life,
Right.
I feel so sad that I haven't been able to get where I wanted to be.
I know.
With some of the things that even something as simple as a meaningful little keychain that my husband would have really enjoyed had to be put on the back burner because we just were all so...
Well, you can still do it just when
I know I
when you're
can.
better, and it
I
doesn't
know.
have to be on Valentine's Day. It just has
I'm
to be
aware that I can
sometime.
still make it. It's just one of those, like, it rubs the wrong way when you know that it could have really been such a nice little...
St. Patrick's Day's coming.
Oh my goodness. Instead of a red cup of shock and just make it green.
Oh, that's so funny.
All right. But yeah, no.
Okay, I think this is a good segue for the scripture. So, today's scripture is, "Nothing is better for a man than that he should eat and drink, and that his soul should enjoy good in his labor. This also I saw was from the hand of God." And that's found in Ecclesiastes 2:24, and I'm thinking it's New King James Version. Nothing is better for a man than that he should eat and drink, have the everyday life things. You eat, you drink, you do your stuff, and that his soul should enjoy good in his labor. Whatever he does, let it be something that he enjoys to do, and that he likes to do, and that he's happy to do. He gets to eat, he gets to drink, and he gets to do the things that he loves to do, like we do with our crochet, or our knitting, or our needlework, or our raising of the kids, or, even cooking. I find that quite fun to do, and I know that Sarah's found that fun to do in the past, and so just the everyday things of life can be good and fun, and especially if you find the positive side of it. And this also I saw was from the hand of God. God wants us to enjoy our lives and to have those fruits of our labor, the things that we can make with our hands, the foods that we can make on, cooking or baking or whatever, roasting or, Instapot or toaster. And it doesn't matter as long as you enjoy what you're doing. And he wants us to find the enjoyment in life and to make sure that, your joy gets passed off on other people. And so I just think that was, when I saw that today, it was like, oh, okay, I think that's a good one. So like to think, or like to see what your thoughts are on that one.
Well, I think back to a time in which I felt at one point I was under the leadership of someone who had told me that I had to earn my right to have the things that I was good at be used for God. Obviously, This was not someone that really was thinking about what they were saying, because they were in a place where they thought that obedience over the gifts were more important to the story, like the aspect of obeying God in the way that the gifts were or the talents were supposed to be done, instead of the fact that they were given to them with the specific set skills of if you run with what I have given you, you're going to flourish because this is your specialty.
Yeah.
And there
It's
was
a gift from God.
exactly, and there was this understanding of the way that he had presented it. Made it hard to feel like to minister in the way that you wanted to, you almost had to earn it.
Ooh. I don't
Instead
like that.
of recognizing that if this is something that is a God given to you and you labor and actually can bear real fruit, that is supposed to sustain us not only in our giving and our ability to offer what God has given us to help others, but to sustain us as well.
Yeah.
It's kind of the idea of the tithe in a very interesting aspect. You know, the tithe is always the idea of I give my God the top of my right off the top, I give him 10%, and so that I might be blessed with a 90.
Yeah.
There's an interesting idea of that in the aspect that I look at with my crafting, that my crafting blesses me that I can give with it almost to the 90% and I'm blessed by the 10%.
Yeah.
Because it, like God giving someone something, this is the thing that he gave me, therefore the narrative is switched. I am giving almost all of it because it is something that is sustained in me, something that I can provide and have constantly at my back burner, something that is literally part of my makeup and structure. It cannot leave me because this is a part of me.
Right.
And this is how I represent God. So I realized that there was a freedom in taking myself out of that leadership of realizing that I don't have to ask for permission because God gave me permission when he gave me the gift.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
exactly.
I don't have to wait for someone to say that's good because I already know that it is because God said it was.
Yeah.
That I recognize that my starting point might not be the same as my ending point, but everyone starts from somewhere. Everyone has a love for something. Like, not everyone might not like my cooking, but it feeds me. Not everyone might not like what I have.
Okay, we'll take care of it in a minute.
Okay, baby.
Oh, it won't get you. It's okay.
My son is also here and he got startled by a bug. There's just something about the fact that
Okay.
by design, I feel that God instills things in us so that it is a part of our way to navigate this world and navigate our lives. And if that is the truth, then we in some way are defined by it as it defines us, and our labor benefits our way of life because it is the means in which we're supposed to navigate and sustain our lives. So if it is being used correctly, I feel like you will see the fruits of its labor. You will see it bless not only your life, but many others. And that especially if you're doing it the way that it is intended, you're going to see it be done and be very much blessed in. And so I'm not saying that what that prior leader was saying isn't true. There are some things we have to push to have because we have to have the discipline of just doing the hard work to be able to get to where we want to go. I am not saying that that principle isn't still real, but I know that for sure I don't have to prove to anybody what God has given to me when I already see what it's benefiting me, even if so-called potential is available through different means. Potential is in the eyes of the beholder, and I don't set myself to any other potential than what God has given mine to have.
Right.
what my gift is supposed to be, and I'm not going to see that until the end.
Right.
I don't need to. It's a journey, and if I'm being obedient and using what I have, then I don't need to worry about the rest. And obviously, there is morality in that to navigate the do's and don'ts, but that doesn't take away the fact that that's going to look different for everybody.
Right.
So, in and of itself, I do believe that there is nothing better than feeling so fulfilled in your purpose that it supplies your needs, because for the first time you feel whole by having something to navigate your life by, because you know exactly who you are and what you are in Christ, because you have found out how He has built you to navigate this world.
That's perfect.
And so for me, it's just like, why would you let someone else navigate that for you when God literally gave it to you to navigate with?
Yeah, nobody else can walk your journey.
And it's not to say that you're not going to make bumps. It's not going to say that you don't start from somewhere. But if there is something that you know you're good at and are capable of doing, and it is a true gift that only you can have, there's no point in keeping it on the shelf. There's no point in letting it waste itself to nothing more than just wait for some moment or some reason when it can sustain you by merely just being real with yourself as to how it feeds you on its own. Like, I used to be a flute player, a flautist. I don't get to do that anymore, because that is much more of a past me than it is a present me. It doesn't mean that I don't still love playing it. I used to travel. I used to do all sorts of things, and that is one avenue of my life I could have pursued. But at the same time, it doesn't mean that's gone just because I put it in a box. I could still pull it out and still play for myself. I don't have to be a part of something big for it to still feed me.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is that we, as human beings, are very simple in design, and it's the small things that matter to us the most.
Yeah.
We don't have to be in front of a huge crowd for it to be big. Like, this craft means everything to me regardless of whether I'm sharing it to you or not. And it's not to say that I'm not enjoying my this journey of having this. I mean, we wouldn't be at 92 videos if we didn't enjoy what we did, and we wouldn't be almost going on 3 years in. I'm just saying, this matters because I find it valuable, because it's something that I feel like I can express myself with, because it's not limited to what other people say it can be. It's what I and God has designed me to navigate it with. The written word is a good example. Crafting is a good example. Music is a good example. Culinary arts is a good example.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, people that do business, people that are great with hospitality, medical, anything that you can think of. Even my dad, he's a pyromaniac, so he worked for the for the fire department because that was more legal than for him to blow things up. I mean, it still worked. But you know what I mean?
Right?
Instead of being just a teenager that was so reckless about all his love with fire, he used it for a purpose, to be around it in a very safe environment.
Yeah, and learn to be safe in it.
Exactly. There is a way to have any interest shine as long as you keep it moral, and as long as you are real with yourself.
Yeah.
You know, and surround yourself around people that actually want to see you succeed, because, like I said, it's very hard to get yourself back when you're around people that tell you what your self-worth is by saying what you have to prove to be, or do or do not do to be able to have that.
Yeah.
And instead of you navigating, this is me, this is what I am capable of, I'm allowed to have this, I'm allowed to want this, I'm allowed to say these things, and no one.
Right. You could just say, bloom where you're planted.
Yeah. So Nothing is better than for a man than that he should eat and drink, that his soul should enjoy good in his labor. This also is saw.
That I saw.
This also I saw was from the hand of God.
Yeah.
So, Ecclesiastes 2:24. Ecclesiastes is a book literally designed to help you think and process through some of the hardships. There are things that in this life will seem pointless and unrealistic, or even why are some born to die? Why are some that make poor decisions and affect so many people get to live? Why is all this? That book has so much chopped into it to be able to help you deal with the philosophical questions, while also being able to be like, sometimes it's just as simple as this, and sometimes we'll not know the answer, because the reality is that nothing is new under the sun.
Right.
Nothing is predictable except God, and the reality is that God sees it all, and he judges both the good and the bad, and he has the sun rise on the good and the bad and rain on the good and the bad, and he's no respecter of persons. So there's some things that, especially this book in Ecclesiastes, can really help center you in if you're ever in a bind. So
Yeah.
that's just there for you as well. Well, we hope that you have a good day. We hope that this helps make a smile on your day. Maybe you got more of a project done in this, 36 minutes that you were with us. If you made it all the way to the end, we thank you so much, and we hope that you have a great rest of your week. Hopefully we'll have more to show for you next week. My goal is to actually sit down and be able to maybe put on an audiobook in my ear and just actually be able to enjoy the project and try to relax a little bit while I heal.
Right.
I can't wait to see what that looks like by the end of it.
Yeah. Like, subscribe, and comment.
We love hearing from you, and like we said before, the idea of being able to just kind of have a video where we regularly can see what all of y'all are working on would be fantastic and very inspiring.
Yes.
So, as always, we love you. We hope that you have a great rest of your day, and as always, stitch your way
To mental health.